You and Brady, you're going to need to be in a safe place. That'll be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes. Helmets, not the worst idea. But again, Brady, you've got the wind now. It's starting to rain. But the hail, the possible tornado, and the worst of the worst is still probably about 10 minutes away, riding down Highway 283, and it's coming right into town. So those of you in the city of Brady, again, you're going to need to be in a safe place. The lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you're in a sturdy site-built structure. We don't want you in a mobile home, a trailer, or a vehicle. And again, this is one of these nasty hailers that could try to break out your windows. All right, let's take a look at the statewide view. Let's see what we've got going on. Okay, so first off, we have no giant complexes of storms moving down the state right now. That's a nice change. We've got dry line storms firing off in eastern New Mexico. That was expected. You can see we've got a storm near Clovis. That's a supercell. These are going to move into the Panhandle, West Texas later on this evening. What I didn't necessarily expect in my morning forecast is this outflow boundary to still be here and firing off storms. I thought the atmosphere would hopefully be a little more stabilized, but clearly it's sunny, it's, whatever. So the atmosphere destabilized, this outflow boundary popped off, and now we've got supercells in the hill country and the Concho Valley. These storms as a whole are slowly moving off to the east-southeast. They're not moving real quick, with the exception of this storm near Brady. But, yeah, we're going to have to watch and make sure these don't try to get to I-35 later. It's still a long ways off. I mean, most of these are moving 10 miles an hour, if that. But again, we're going to have to keep an eye on them. The clear-cut message right now is the city of Brady, you need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. The potential for softball-sized hail, hurricane force winds, potentially a tornado with this thunderstorm that's moving southeast. So again, those of you in the city of Brady, hang on, it's about to get rough. Those of you in Rochelle, same thing. You're about to get the softball size hail and the straight line winds. Those of you in Fife, you're clear. Mercury, you're clear. Placid, you may end up dealing with some hail. But again, this thing could be dropping. Truthfully, this could be dropping softball to DVD size hail. Hopefully not, but it's angry. So again, this is a tornado warning for portions of central McCulloch County until 5:45 p.m. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located just north of Brady. Moving south at 25 miles an hour, this storm is also capable of producing softball-sized hail, hurricane force winds. So those of you in the city of Brady, you're going to need to be in a safe place. That'll be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Good news is all these other storms we're dealing with right now are not being as temperamental. You can see we've got some other little storms. I say little in comparison. Yeah, they could have some hail, some strong winds, and heavy rain and lightning, but, they're not throwing out softballs or tornadoes, which is always a nice change of pace. You can see something we may have to watch later for West Texas. We got a supercell firing west of Clovis. You can see it's moving like 2 miles an hour. I could probably walk faster than that thing's moving, and I'm old, baldy, grumpy man. These storms are probably going to eventually form into a cluster, or just keep trottling on along and make it into portions of the Panhandle, West Texas later this evening with some rain, some hail, some wind. We'll keep an eye on it. Otherwise, yes, those of you in the city of Brady, you're going to need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, hard sole shoes would be a good idea. Helmet, etc. The which way the wind's blowing mode, you can see, yeah, we do have a bit of a circulation coming on into the city of Brady right now. This is the which way the wind's blowing mode, and even if we don't have a tornado, the potential for damaging straight line winds over 70 miles an hour, that thing's got some oomph to it. Dog, can I help you? Hi, what you doing? You want out? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna stand up, the camera's gonna probably follow me, and you'll get to see my ugly backside. So yeah, dog. Hi, camera. Well, it didn't follow me. That's surprising. Sorry, dog. Lost your office privileges. I don't have time to play office doors right now. Hammer didn't follow me. It's honestly kind of a surprise. Oh well. Sorry. Those of you in the city of Brady, again, you're getting wind, could have a circulation just north of town, and those of you up towards Rochelle, you're about to get really bad hail. Wouldn't be going west out of Richland Springs on 190, wouldn't be going east out of Melvin, wouldn't be coming down 377 out of Mercury or Placid, or 283. And again, this thing could have really big hail. This is the softball to DVD size hail category we're playing with now. So, 4 to 5 inches in diameter. This thing's probably throwing out some bowling balls. Again, the potential for destructive straight line winds. Really, I'll be honest, the whole... yeah, there could be a tornado in here, but it's not a clear-cut, screaming, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs situation in the tornado department. But the hail, the wind, oh, yes, there's plenty of hail, there's plenty of wind. That enough in itself is a problem in this situation. So again, those of you in Brady, up Highway 190 to Rochelle, up Highway 377 to Placid, 283 almost up to Fife, and of course, how can we forget Highway 87 coming in from the west. You're not gonna want to be out and about because there's gonna be softball size hail. So again, this storm's gonna be moving southeast about 25 miles an hour. Now, looking further east, let's just switch off. Let's look from this radar. You can see we got a Soupy trying to get going over Cherokee right now. This thing's really not doing much. Again, the only storm that has really taken off in this environment is this one near Brady that's throwing out, softball size hail and accelerating southeast. All these other storms, I hate to use this reference because they'll find a way to, shun me, but they're kind of these almost like summer pop-ups. I mean, they're stronger than summer pop-ups typically, but notice they're just not moving very much. They're not going, crazy. But we're going to have to watch them. You can see we kind of have a boundary extending down into central Texas near Austin. I'll admit, I'm a little worried this storm near Brady's going to try to latch onto that and ride right down towards Austin, but maybe not, hopefully. Again, this thing could be throwing out softball-sized hail. It's moving southeast at 35 miles an hour now. Tornado warning technically continues for another 10 minutes for the city of Brady. So again, those of you in Brady, you're going to want to be in a safe place. Those of you heading... I wouldn't want to be on the roads heading, outside of Brady right now. Eventually, it looks like this thing is going to be trying to take a track down Highway 71 towards Fredonia, Voca, Pontotoc, maybe even Valley Springs. This thing, notice that new severe thunderstorm warning they issued? Notice how it's trying to turn more southeast versus south again? We'll see if this tries to turn more to the southeast. This may end up being an issue for Llano down the road. So, those of you on Highway 71 between Brady and Llano, heads up. This thing's probably lofting out softballs, damaging winds. It may try to do a tornado from time to time, but again, we just don't have a lot of low-level wind shear at all. But still, a lot of wind with this thing. Definitely the potential for nasty wind, nasty hail, a lot of lightning. All right, now, for, futile purposes, let's take a look at the high-res rapid refresh model. Before I even show you what it shows tonight, and I'll be honest, I haven't looked yet, so this will be a surprise for us all. We're going to switch the upper third, so it has the proper terminology. We're going to turn off the magical button here, and we're just going to look and see what this model shows at 6 p.m. Because if it's showing garbage now, well, it's not going to do much better later. Notice how it doesn't have any storms here. Yeah, this model is just, no. Well, here, let's just show you what it has tonight with the storms in New Mexico and the Panhandle. It's going to storm tonight in the Panhandle, West Texas. You can see this actually... Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, yay. It actually makes a little cluster that tries to move into Northwest Texas in the Big Country in the morning. We'll see. But, I mean, that's possible. So, again, it has no idea what's going on right now with the storms in the Hill Country. But, you know, with the stuff in New Mexico... extrapolate it out. Give a second, it'll load and play in sequential order. Yeah, we could have some storms moving into Panhandle, West Texas this evening, and those may keep trying to go into parts of Northwest Texas, the Big Country, western North Texas, late tonight into the morning hours on Saturday. Now, notice this doesn't have a super organized, you know, big, scary complex of storms. It's just kind of got some showers and storms. Hopefully that's what we're doing here. I can't completely rule out a big scary complex of storms just because we've dealt with that enough this past week that I'm traumatized. And it's burnt me enough to where I'm not ever going to rule that out in this kind of a situation. But, again, hopefully this isn't one of these, you know, completely big, angry overnight events. Back to the real-time radar we go. Where we'll end up, who knows? Again, you can see storms firing off in eastern New Mexico, got a supercell southwest of Clovis. Those aren't going to be an issue for us probably for another couple of hours on the Panhandle, West Texas. What wasn't on the bingo card, but has nevertheless appeared, just to spite me, are these thunderstorms along an outflow boundary across the Concho Valley, now into portions of the Hill Country. Specifically, this storm near Brady took a hard, well, technically it turned left again. Brady itself, it's probably going to mostly miss you now, it looks like. Here, I'll stop this loop. We'll go back to the super high-res radar, and you can see Brady, I mean, it's mostly east of town. Yeah, we see that hook, and yeah, now there's that circulation there again. But again, Brady, you've got some wind, you've got some rain, you may have gotten a little hail, but most of this is going off to your east, which is a blessing for y'all. Not such a blessing for those of you in Voca, Fredonia, or Rochelle. But again, we do have some storms trying to pop off back on its flanking line to the northwest, so you're going to get some rain in Brady for a while, it looks like. We've got a storm just sitting southwest of Coleman with some flooding. Otherwise, I mean, look on the bright side. Y'all are getting some rain-cooled air. That's always a benefit as we go into the summer months. And then we're also watching this storm north of Llano, south of San Saba. It's a little stronger, but it's really not doing much. If I had to guesstimate on what's going to happen, this big mean thing east of Brady is probably just going to eat it, take away its energy, and be like, mine, mine, nom, 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 nom. But again, looking east of Brady, you can see, yeah, we do have a bit of a circulation. Low-level wind shear is not strong out here. This is not a day where we have a lot of shear. In the winter months, you'll hear me talking about high shear, low instability environments. Well, we're kind of into the opposite now. We've got high instability, low shear. So, I mean, we still got hail out the size of a wazoo out here. We got baseball to maybe even softballs northeast of Brady, moving southeast at about 35 miles an hour. You can see the radar thinking this moving east about southeast about 20. It fluctuates between, you know, 20, 25. But again, and there's a new tornado warning, so the computer's about to make a bunch of noises. Or it may already had. I have my speakers muted, admittedly, so it may not have made it for me or you. But this is going to be a tornado warning. This will be for southeastern McCulloch, northern Mason, southwestern San Saba counties in portions of West Texas. At 5:15 p.m., a brief tornado was reported 10 miles north of Brady. At 5:36 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located a bit east of Brady, just northeast of Camp San Saba, moving southeast at 25 miles an hour. In addition to the potential of a tornado, this thunderstorm is capable of producing softballs. This storm will be near Fredonia around 5:50 p.m. So again, those of you in Fredonia, Voca, Camp San Saba, just west of Pontotoc on Highway 71. You're going to need to be in a safe place, lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This has the potential of throwing out some really big hail, strong winds, and a brief tornado can't be ruled out. Don't be in, a RV, a camper, a mobile home, or a trailer. You need to be in a safe place. At this point, we'd advise no travel on Highway 71 from Pontotoc and Valley Spring up to Brady. And again, let me just turn off this. We'll go back to the radar. Let me just loop it over the last hour so y'all can get a sense of the timing, motion, and all that. And just here's what we've dealt with over the last hour. We've got one intense supercell, and some days that's all you get. I was hoping it wasn't today. I was hoping we'd have 0 today, but let's be honest. Are we surprised? No. Dejected? Yes. Supercell now southeast of Brady by several miles. It's accelerating southeast, which could enhance the damaging wind and wind-driven hail threat for places like Avoca, Fredonia, to Pontotoc. Eventually, this is going to be an issue for Highway 29 between Llano and Mason and Llano counties. For now, this is an issue for eastern McCulloch, southwestern San Saba counties. This storm's moving southeast about 35 miles an hour. You can see we've got a couple other pop-ups around here this afternoon, but most are behaving themselves, with the exception of the Brady storm, which is being a big, bad, very mad, unyielding child. But again, you can see this storm is riding down Highway 71 essentially right now. So those of you southeast of southeast of Brady, northeast of Camp San Saba, Voca, Fredonia, Pontotoc on Highway 71, it's not a great place to be right now in terms of traveling or, camping. Good news is, again, it's moving 35 miles an hour, so you won't have to deal with it too long, but yeah, this could be dropping some pretty nasty size hail, could have wind gusts over 75 miles an hour, and can't completely rule out a brief spin-up tornado. But the hail, the wind, oh yeah, and there's probably going to be some flooding rains, will be an issue with this. So again, those of you east of Brady, you're going to want to be in a safe place. Those of you from Pontotoc, Fredonia, Voca, Camp San Saba, you're going to want to be in a safe place. Or at least, under some sort of shelter from the hail. All right. So again, this is going to be a severe thunderstorm now, just northeast of the city of Brady, moving southeast about 25 to 35 miles per hour. This thunderstorm will have the potential of producing baseball to softball size hail, damaging straight line winds, maybe a spin-up tornado, and it's moving southeast about 25 to 35 miles an hour. So far, this is the only nasty storm we're dealing with, which is fortunate. But we'll have to see how it evolves. If this is going to be one of these longer-lived things where, storms are, where this thing just rides down 71, we could have issues further into the hill country over the next several hours. We'll see. Honestly, weather models didn't pick up on this at all. Zero, zilch, nada, garbage. But we're going to have to keep an eye on it, and we're going to have to keep dealing with it. And I can't rule out a few other nasty storms this evening in this area, but so far, the rest of these have been, behaved in comparison. You can see this storm near Brady moving southeast, showing some pretty strong winds. We've got a little hail core trying to build back west over Brady, but at this point, again, that's not a super significant concern. What we are dealing with is the potential for some strong winds, some big hail, maybe a spin-up tornado southeast of Brady. This is starting to evolve into almost a small cluster versus, an individual discrete nasty supercell. This thing could be producing nasty wind, nasty hail, and Let me see if I can't switch this over to level 3. Alright, we'll just do this. Load a half-hour loop if I crash the program and have to reset the program. That's okay. But we'll just load the 1-hour loop, show y'all what this thing's been doing. It's going to go backwards for a minute, then go forwards. Again, you can see this thing has been moving almost south-southeast. It took a little left jog there just north of Brady, sparing Brady, hopefully, the softball-size hail. But it's kind of almost riding a boundary or even riding Highway 71. But again, you can see we've had some other storms pop up around here. Most are not exhibiting the intensity or longevity as this main Brady storm. This Brady storm is moving southeast about 25 to 35 miles an hour. The potential for nasty hail damaging winds shortly in Voca, Fredonia, Camp San Saba, and eventually this may make it down towards places like Mason, Art, maybe areas west of Llano. But yeah, so what we're dealing with here is a situation where we've got one intense storm in McCulloch County that's produced some pretty strong winds. Let's see what that wind reading is. Winds up to 63 miles an hour at Curtis Field, just north of Brady. So, yeah, that was a pretty nasty wind gust. This little storm / complex, we're going to have to see how far southeast it traverses. This is a situation where we're still, 3 hours from sunset. This thing could run into the hill country. And if it continues, it may end up taking a run at the 35 corridor later. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not ruling it out, but I'm not also going to say it's going to happen. We're just going to have to see. Again, you can see we've got some other storms that have developed further north into the big country. Maybe some small hail, moderate to heavy rainfall, lightning, gusty winds. Same thing with this storm in northern Llano County. But we're just going to have to wait and see. This storm, again, north of Voca, northwest of Fredonia, has the potential of producing softball-size hail, damaging winds over 75 miles an hour, and heavy, heavy rainfall. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep going on the coverage because why not? We're going to start doing what we did last evening. We're just going to be doing some updates every once in a while. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to let y'all enjoy some music, and we're going to be back here at 6 p.m. with our next severe weather update, and we'll be around as long as this storm keeps going. And then, well, we're probably going to be doing some updates tonight as well for the storms moving into the Panhandle of West Texas. So we'll be back here in about 12 minutes here on the Texas Storm Chasers. As always, you can keep an eye on the sky with the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps for your device, interactive weather radars, your local weather forecast, live severe weather updates, and more. We'll be back at 6 p.m. sooner if necessary.
Reported by public. Additional information, report from Ving, quarter, 1 inch.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. It is 6 p.m. in about 8 seconds on the 31st of May, 2024. We've got a tornado warning. This is going to be for northeastern Mason County, southeastern McCulloch County, southwestern Llano counties. At 5:51 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Voca, moving southeast at 30 miles an hour. This storm is still capable of producing baseball-sized hail, damaging straight-line winds over 75 miles an hour. It's riding down Highway 71 right now towards Fredonia from Voca. So those of you in Fredonia, Pontotoc, need to be in a safe place. We'll see a new warning issued soon. That'll probably include further portions of eastern Mason and western Llano counties. And these storms are moving southeast at about, or this storm, I should say, in a singular fashion, moving southeast about 25 to 35 miles an hour. As we zoom out, you can see, yeah, we've got some other showers, a few other storms here in parts of the Big Country, the Concho Valley, and Hill Country, but the only storm that's gone spaghetti-o mode is this thing that seems to be accelerating southeast towards the Hill Country, which is not what you want to see. But this is the potential cluster, or next cluster we're going to be dealing with now. It wasn't forecast at all, but, well, that's just more SpaghettiOs on my head. This little cluster here, evolving, is moving southeast into the Hill Country with the potential of hurricane force winds locally and destructive hail. Oh, and yes, apparently spin-up tornadoes still too. So again, this will require a weather warning for portions of Llano and Mason County shortly. And on its present track, it's moving towards Johnson City. In fact, I'm just going to try to extrapolate it. Yeah, it's moving towards Llano County, Mason County, Blanco County, and eventually, if it keeps up, it's going to end up in portions of Comel, and Hayes counties. It's moving southeast, maybe 25, 35 miles an hour. Seems to be accelerating, though. This little storm skit is what they're called. Shows the track over the next hour. You can see how that cone's starting to get longer. That's because the storm's starting to move faster. So again, this eventually may be an issue for places like Johnson City, Round Mountain, Blanco County. And if it keeps up, it could move towards areas like Comel or Comel County and Hayes County. Maybe.
A new flash flood warning has been issued for Mason, McCulloch, and San Saba County in Texas.
Yay, more flooding. Looks like the San Antonio radar is offline still. I know they were having issues with it last night. Let me see if there's any... Oh, that's because it broke again this afternoon. Okay. So again, severe storm located near Fredonia, the potential for baseball-sized hail, damaging straight-line winds over 75 miles an hour, potential for a spin-up tornado, and heavy rainfall with flash flooding. This thing could put down a quick 3 inches of rain. You can see Brady. Oh, by the way, Brady, you're clear. I mean, it's still storming and pouring, but you're not about to get hit by a tornado or hail or softball-sized hail or damaging winds. Main issue is going to be with this singular storm near Fredonia that's evolved into a bit of a cluster that is moving southeast at about 35 miles an hour. Otherwise, as we take a zoomed out look across the state, you could see we've got storms evolving in eastern New Mexico. Those storms are going to make it into the Panhandle and West Texas in a couple hours with the potential of damaging winds and hail. There is the potential those storms could try to evolve into a cluster that then moves towards northwest Texas, the Big Country, western North Texas, and western Texoma early Saturday morning with maybe some spotty, strong winds, maybe a bit of hail and heavy rainfall. But those storms are still in New Mexico, and those storms are still a while out from impacting us. We had a report of 65 to 70 mile an hour winds and ping pong ball size hail in the city of Brady. which actually missed out on this storm that turned a bit left before it made it to Brady, so the worst stayed northeast of Brady. This is now over Highway 71 from Voca to Fredonia. We'll have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming out in just a minute.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Mason, McCulloch, and San Saba County in Texas.
So this will be a new severe thunderstorm warning that includes places like Pontotoc, Art, Hedwigs Hill, and we'll probably have one for western Llano County that'll include Valley Spring. Shortly, the potential for baseball to softball size hail, damaging straight line winds over 70 miles an hour. You can see the radar's maxed out on what it thinks the hail size is, moving southeast at 35 miles per hour. So with that in mind, I'm going to try a storm track on this, but I'm going to put it out for 2 hours just for our purposes. Just based on its present trajectory. I'm going to do 40. So this is where, if this stays on its present course and speed, could be in the next 2 hours. So Llano about 6:35 to 6:40. Fredericksburg about 7:05 to 7:15. Round Mountain about 7:15 to 7:30. Johnson City 7:25 to 7:35. Blanco, 7:40 to 7:50. Entering northwestern Comal County, the intersection of Highway 306 and 281, around 8 p.m., which would thus place it between New Braunfels and the city of San Antonio by probably about 8:30 to 9 p.m. And again, I'm not sure if this storm's going to last that long. I'm not sure if we're going to have a larger cluster evolve, if this thing's going to die out before hitting the I-35 or what, but you know, it's only 6 o'clock now, sunset's not for 2.5 hours, and it seems to be a wee bit rowdy, and I'm not sure what would kill it, to be honest with you. So it could make it down to I-35 by 9 o'clock. This is storm track over the next 2 hours. And again, if it turns a little left, a little right, this will change a bit, but over the next 2 hours, this is where this thing may end up. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be back here at 7:20. Or excuse me, not 7:20, not that long of a break, 6:20. With our next severe weather update, we'll be back sooner if necessary, but again, we've got storms in eastern New Mexico. Those will move into West Texas and the Panhandle later this evening with some heavy rain, maybe some hail and wind. And we've got a cluster of very unhappy storms now moving into the hill country with damaging winds, large hail. And those are on a beeline to impact New Braunfels to San Antonio in about 2.5 to 3 hours at present course and speed. Alright, we'll be back here at 6:20 with your next severe weather update.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Llano County in Texas.
All right, we'll come back a little early and talk about what's going on here. We've got that storm over northern Llano County. It's taken on a little bit more of an intense look. Let's go ahead and switch over to the Granger radar. We'll take a look at these storms here. Come on, radar, here you go. Please be nice to me. Uh-oh. Okay, let's just restart this thing. Whew. All right, so this is going to be a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for northeastern portions of Llano County. In the hill country until 7:15 p.m., a severe storm located over Lone Grove, 9 miles northeast of Llano, moving south at 10 miles an hour. This does include Buchanan Dam to near Llano. This is going to eventually cross over Highway 29 if it makes it down that far. This thunderstorm, eastern Llano County, could have some about quarter-size hail, localized winds over 60 miles an hour. The big bad, very mad storm. This is back over eastern portions of Mason County, southeastern Brady County. Quarter to tennis ball sized hail reported in Voca, with 70-mile-an-hour winds breaking out windows with the wind-driven hail. That's the big, bad, very mad storm on Highway 71 now between Pontotoc and Fredonia. That's going to be moving towards northwestern Llano County over the next, hour, moving southeast at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. That could eventually pose a threat to Gillespie County, Blanco County, and eventually maybe even places like Kendall County, Comal County, maybe even Hayes County in the next 2 to 3 hours. Depending on how long this storm sticks around, this could be an issue down, further southeast by 8 to 9 p.m. Again, I'll put some storm reports on here. You could see this one. Apparently, a train spotter decided to play in hail, and that didn't end well. Actually, it may have been their house. Hopefully not, because that's quite unfortunate as well. But again, strong winds over 70 miles an hour, tennis ball size hail moving towards western Llano County from northeastern Mason County. The potential for nastiness from that. And that storm's moving southeast at about 35 miles an hour, and again could be an issue for places like Gillespie County, Blanco County, Kendall County, Comal County, and western Llano County here over the next 2 to 2.5 hours. Otherwise, back into the Concho Valley, you can see we have a few showers, a few storms. These are nothing to write home about right now. They're just lollygagging around with some rain, some small hail, gusty winds. Looks like we're starting to see a few showers develop, one near Brownfield. We'll keep an eye on that in case it tries to start intensifying. But for now, the only storms of, noteworthiness are in eastern New Mexico. We've got a storm west of Tucumcari, southeast of Santa Rosa. We've got a little cluster evolving south of Melrose near Floyd, New Mexico, southwest of Clovis. west of Portales, those storms are moving at 8 miles an hour, so they're not going to be an issue for us for quite a while. But eventually, these storms in eastern New Mexico are probably going to make it into the panhandle of Texas and West Texas. Later this evening, we could have some hail, some wind, some heavy rain. And we're still dealing with this cluster down in parts of the hill country and the Concho Valley. Alright, so we're going to be sticking around here for a while. Again, we have no tornado warnings. We don't have many storms, thankfully, either. But since we're here already, we might as well keep on going. We'll keep the music going. We'll keep the scroll going. We'll be doing occasional updates here and there. We'll plan on our next update at about 6:45 p.m., sooner if necessary. And again, if we need to come in sooner, we will. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy in Chief. We'll keep you updated here at the Texas Storm Chasers.
Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Gillespie and Llano County in Texas.
All right, folks, back here with our next update. It is 6:31. We have a cluster of thunderstorms kind of starting to dwindle in intensity a little bit. Still intense, but probably not throwing out, baseball-size hail. Now extending from Buchanan Dam back to Valley Spring, Pontotoc. Those storms are moving southeast at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. Those could be an issue for the hill country the next few hours. So yeah, those of you downstream in Gillespie County, Blanco County, maybe even parts of Kendall, Comal, and Hayes counties, we're going to have to keep an eye on these for some hail, some wind, some heavy rain that may cause a bit of flooding. Back up into the Permian Basin, Contra Valley, we have a few other storms that have tried to get going. Nothing big. Sterling City, maybe some small hail with that. We've got a storm near Brownfield that I have to zoom in for so you can actually see it. There you go. A little rain. And then we've got storms in eastern New Mexico.
Storm report from 1 miles northeast of Brady in McCulloch County, Texas. Thunderstorm wind gust magnitude measured 63 miles per hour. Reported by AWO.
All right, and then storms in eastern New Mexico. Eventually, these are going to upscale or grow into a cluster and start moving east more quickly, and those are going to make it into the western panhandle and western portions of West Texas, there's a mouthful, over the next couple of hours. The strongest of these could have damaging winds and hail. All right. So we're going to let y'all go ahead and keep on watching some radar. If you're watching us on the YouTubes, if you're watching us on Facebook or other platforms, head over to the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app or our website. We'll have continuing live updates there. And if we need to come back later with more severe weather coverage, we shall. Thank you for tuning in this evening. We'll keep you updated here at the Texas Storm Chasers and the Texas Weather Center.